Who here knows what, I was going to do a slide presentation in a little bit of a Pecha style. Does anybody know what a Pecha is? Ah, wow, a number of people. Couple, three, good. Well, for those of you who know what it is, this is not pure by any means. A Pecha is a Japanese word for chit-chat, sort of, and it's more of an informal style with a lot of pictures and fewer words. And I have some wording slides, unfortunately, so that's why it's probably not pure. But anyway, the idea was to keep things sort of light and formal, and I'll be showing images of many CCTS staff members here, many of which you know and recognize. So we're going to talk about workforce development programs and core services, participant recruitment services, our Wellness, Health, and You, or Y program, informatics, and we'll have some time for Q&A. So first of all, have you become a CCTS member yet? We have a membership program now, and we recently celebrated our 1,000th member. And interestingly, our 1,000th member is a project manager in the HEAL program, and she became a member of CCTS in order to get Red Cap. So all of these very appropriate services that we offer. But membership is free, it's very quick, it uses your Link Blue ID, and this is something we like to use for you to have access to CCTS services. It allows us to do tracking and evaluation, who's using services, and that kind of thing. So it's very easy to join. You just go to our website and you'll find it very quickly and easily. Another service that we offer, which is perhaps a little bit under the radar, is navigator services. We, because many times when people come to the CCTS, they're maybe not sure exactly what they want. There may be a resource, but where do I find it? Who do I talk to? And so if you go to our, you can contact us. The website is there, CCTS Navigators, and you can also do this through our service request form on the web. But when you put in a service request form, our navigators will then evaluate it, and they'll talk amongst themselves and get back to you within 24 hours likely about how to satisfy your needs. One of the most important things that CCTS does is career development. And we recognize that people come to the CCTS with many different career development needs. People at the undergraduate level, professional students, graduate students, pre-docs, postdocs, faculty, fellows, residents, and ultimately people try to get onto this superhighway to engage in clinical and translational research from many different angles. And so we have programs that touch all of these different levels. And these programs involve workforce development programs like Clinical Research 101, Intro to Clinical Research, Fundamentals, PI 101. We have degree granting programs, which is a master's, PhD, or certificate programs in clinical and translational sciences. Plus we have all these special programs, some of which you'll be hearing about today. CLIC is a program for community members. ESMRF is for professional students. DREAM is for people studying health disparities. Scholars are for physicians out of the College of Medicine. And KL2, you know about, is for junior faculty members. We have all these different programs covering all different aspects of career development. And again, if you have questions about these, by all means, Vicki King would be probably the first person you want to contact. And here's our workforce development team. Peter Salai is involved with the professional student program. Tom Kelly is the PI of our KL2. Susan Smythe is PI of our TL1. Vicki King, who you just heard from a minute ago, and Barbara Hurst, who also works in that office. Probably one of the programs that we have that people know the most about is our pilot funding program. And we have many different types of pilot funding programs. Now, people know about our pilot program because we give out money. And of course, that's one way to attract attention. We have programs targeting early career faculty members, disease-focused awards in collaboration with different centers on campus, community engagement awards, drug development, small grants, community partner awards, and we were involved in the MVP program out of the Dean's office. And our success has actually been very good. We are very much into tracking and evaluation, and we track the pilots that we give out, and we also evaluate the return on investment. And shown here is the number of pilots that have been given out since 2012, and the subsequent funding that's resulted from them. And so, as you can see, it goes up over time because it takes time for a pilot award to actually result in actual funding. But our return on investment is actually about 14 to 1 right now. And so we're proud of this, and I think this is, it's hopefully been one factor that's generated the increase in funding that the VPR's office has been talking about considerably lately. We also have pilot funding programs involving other institutions. And we've actually been very successful at this, so that we actually have collaborative arrangements of one kind or another with 63 different institutions throughout the country. We have our ATRN, Appalachian Translational Research Network, involving institutions in this region. We also have our so-called Western States Consortium. You might say, why are we part of a Western States Consortium? That's, well, we were once the Athens of the West, right? Someone once suggested that we call ourselves the Flyover States Consortium. That's probably, but in any case, we actually have pilot grant programs involving these institutions, and plus we have other types of things, UO1s, a Shrine program, which you'll hear a little bit about later, Southeast Accelerator program, all these different types of things involving other institutions. And my point for this is that if you have a collaborator that you are working well with, and you have a good idea, and you think you might be able to put together a pilot grant involving somebody from another institution, especially a CTSA institution, let us know. Even if you're not on this list, we might be able to work something out. We always want good ideas. And we have a number of open RFAs right now, and I'm not going to read through all these. These are on our website. These are RFAs that are ongoing right now. Although I'm not going to read them all, I do want to give an advertisement right now. The Washington University Diabetes Research Center collaboration. This is coming up soon, September 3rd, and this is another. It's a diabetes-focused one, but there'll be pilot grants being given out through that process. Again, information you can find it on our website. Team science is really important. As I mentioned, we have collaborative arrangements with many other institutions, and we've put a lot of thought into team science. Everybody believes it's good, but how do you actually accomplish this? And so we've been involved in a number of different things. First of all, in order to get team science, you involve some level of systems change. And this happens at the level of provosts and deans regarding promotion and tenure. And so we've been active at doing this by trying to get individual departments and colleges, and even from the provost level down, to acknowledge that one can achieve promotion without having to necessarily be a PI or an individual R1. Collaborative work does count, and this involves department statement of evidence. And so we've been active in that regard. We've also, education and training is important. We have team science support programs. We do a lot to promote community collaboration and citizen science, and then infrastructure. Localized in our Healthy Kentucky Research Building, BIRD is there, Pilot, and Informatics is there. There's other things that we're doing to try to improve infrastructure to encourage team science. Now, one thing that we're doing to try to promote translating individual ideas is a new program called Translating Ideas into Research, or TREAT. And we are trying to sprout this concept by trying to have studios of face-to-face experts helping investigators develop new ideas into projects. And there'll be a session. The investigator will present his or her idea, and we'll have an expert group help them formulate where to go with this. And the contact person for this is Joel Thompson. Now, we have a pilot funding team, and our pilot funding team is led by Dr. Tom Curry, who's going to slip out here embarrassingly in a little bit. Now, you probably don't know that in his spare time, Dr. Curry actually is he works with our medical students in our medical education as a professional patient. He actually acts as a patient with Graves' disease, and so that's his act as he's doing this right now. But in fact, he's a real funny guy. And Tom Curry leads our pilot program. And Joel Thompson is our research development director, and Amy Thomas, the administrative coordinator for this. And you're welcome to comment them if you have questions about the pilot grant program. We have our clinical research unit, and we have an inpatient unit staffed by hospital nurses as well as with our own specialized research staff. We have 7 inpatient rooms with theoretically 13 patient capacity if we do double occupancy. And this inpatient unit has been very active over the years, especially with SUD-related research. We have many actively funded researchers who admit patients sometimes for long periods of time studying different aspects of substance abuse. We have an outpatient unit. This is also fully staffed with our expert research nurses and coordinators. We have infusion capabilities, procedure rooms, receptionary exam rooms, and there's basically, we can do anything there, just about anything that you would do in any outpatient clinic. And our coordinators are extremely useful to us. They're rock stars, they're Avengers, if you need coordination of a study, this is a very good place to go. Now I just want to point out that many clinical investigators have enough work to do where you can hire your own coordinator, but that takes a certain size and certain degree of funding to be able to hire your own individual coordinator. But many investigators don't have enough to require a full-time coordinator, and that's why the coordinator services of our unit can be very useful. Our clinical research unit has been busy. Shown here is clinical trial dollars that have occurred. This is UK-wide over the years, and also clinical research. This is OSPA data that we massage to try to get it to, because OSPA doesn't exactly keep these data, so we have to tease it out of them. But anyway, along with the increase in overall funding that's occurred at UK over the last 8 years or so, there's also been an increase in clinical research and clinical trials. Also on our unit, we have our FABC, Functional Assessment and Body Composition Lab, led by Jody Casey and Doug Long, and we have a DEXA that's devoted to research for body composition, or bone mineral density, and we also have a metabolic cart for resting and exercise energy metabolism, pulmonary function, and they also help with protocol development. And we also have a biomarker analysis lab. Jen Moylan runs this, and the purpose of this lab is to do assays that are not a standard hospital assay. So if you need a cholesterol, we can send that off to the hospital lab. We don't need to do that. But if you need an assay for TNF-alpha or other cytokines or other types of things which are not routinely done by a hospital lab, this is where we can do this, plate-based assays. And our clinical research unit leadership is Ed Kazarski, who's also an active investigator, who's our director, and Linda Rice, who's our director of clinical operations. So what makes you want to pull your hair out more than IRB-related issues? And especially basic scientists or people who maybe live in the mouse of the basic science world, the idea of actually submitting an IRB is just, oh God, I don't want to have to do that. So we have people that can do this. They can study startup, they can close out, long-term maintenance, QA. We have data safety and monitoring board that are available to investigators. And the smiling people that do this without complaint ever are Dr. Stoops, Marietta Barton Baxter, Ada Selvis, and Laura Ash, among others. Those are just some of our staff. You've probably heard a lot lately about our CRSO, our Clinical Research Support Office. And this is an effort that comes out of the College of Medicine, the UK Healthcare, and the CCTS. We've actually been pushing for this for years, to actually have a coordinated effort to help to support clinical trials. And there's also a desire to grow our clinical trials. So our director of our CRSO is Dr. Bill Stoops, and this office will control regulatory functions, finance, building integrity. We are upgrading Encore to be an enterprise-wide Encore as our clinical translational management software, our CTMS, and participant recruitment services will also be a part of this. So the goal of this, and we're not quite there yet, but the goal of this is to be a clinical trial office that will cover everything clinical trial related, from soup to nuts, and hopefully to make things seamless and smooth for everybody. Now, bird. What is a bird? Say, well, a bird could be a big bird. Bird could be Larry Bird, or let's get real, it could be Sue Bird. There's a lot of different ways you can define a bird. But ultimately, in our case, a bird refers to biostatistics, epidemiology, and research design. And that's a bird. And statistics and research design are very important parts. And this is very not Pechacucho. But nevertheless, the idea behind our bird function is that they really want to be involved with study design from the get-go. So when you design your study, you know how many subjects you need, or you know what you need to do, and whether it's even feasible. They'll also do data analysis, training, develop research tools, and ultimately they're here to support investigators throughout campus. The directors, Dick Criscio and Heather Bush, are our core directors, and the bird faculty you can see there. And here they are: Dick Criscio, Heather Bush, Emily Slade, Arnie Stromberg, and Phil Westgate are all actively involved with our CTSA bird function right now. So here's Gail Sievert. I don't know what she's carrying. I'm not sure I want to know what she's carrying. It's probably a hunk of tissue from something somewhere, and she's coming out of the OR. And she's going to go and put it in the bank, because this is our biobank, or our biospecimens core. And we've been doing this now for a number of years. Gail goes out and gets stuff. And we have a consenting process where patients who come to UK consent to allow us to get leftover tissues or samples that can be then banked for future research studies. And so we've been doing this now for a while, and currently right now we've consented over 34,000 patients to participate in this. And you can see here what we have in our collection right now. Lots of different blood samples. We have cerebral spinal fluid, muscle, dental plaque. Wow. Lots of different blood products. And then we have other assorted things: liver, stomach, small intestine, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, and also, if you have special needs, we'd like you to come to us and let us know what we can do for you. We can't do everything. We are limited to some extent by our consenting process, but nevertheless, we can work with you to try to see what you need. And our biobank team is Ken Campbell, Mariette Barton-Baxter, and Gail Sievert, procurement coordinator. ISP, Integrated Special Populations. There's been a lot written about clinical trials of the past. A lot of cardiology-related trials for a long time seem to only recruit men, and so there's a lot written about all these atherosclerosis trials of the past that only involve men for silly reasons. And we've now gotten beyond that, where even NIH now requires, inclusivity in clinical trials. But something that we often do very badly is recruiting special populations into clinical trials. And there's a lot of reasons for that, cultural, and so we now have integrated we are working towards more inclusive research. And Lavora Williams is is co-director of our Integrated Special Populations Corps, and we're doing a variety of things to try to encourage this. You're going to hear a little bit more about this in a few minutes when we talk about why. This is also very not Pechacucha, but this is our Drug Discovery and Development Corps. And the goal behind this is to help get new drugs into the preclinical development process. CCTS has been supporting this for quite a while now, and it's been very productive in terms of funding. And the main idea is to identify targets, then to do the appropriate preclinical development to then get these targets into the drug pipeline. And the drug development discovery team, the co-directors are Linda Dwoskin and John Thorson. And we have a pilot grant program that helps people get to go through this process. Trial Innovation Network is another core that we have. So, do you have an idea for a clinical trial that needs development and that maybe would become a multi-site clinical trial? Maybe you have some data on a drug. Maybe you want to repurpose a drug. Maybe there's a new process going on that you might want to try out. Well, the NCATS, the institute that funds the CTSAs, they expect each hub to have a trial innovation network, and we work with the national organization to try to help develop multi-site clinical trials. So, so at the NIH level, they have a recruitment innovation center, trial innovation center, coordinating center, a data to health coordinating center, which is informatics oriented. And on our end, we have lots of other types of operations that help this. And we've had some success so far with trying to help develop new clinical trials that then would be eligible to be supported by NIH, industry, or other funding organizations. Joel Thompson is the contact person for this effort. Now this slide requires a little bit of explanation. Many of you probably recognize this guy. That's Francis Collins. He's the head of the NIH. NIH is, what, $35 billion or something? And I guess he plays the guitar and can sing a little. This guy is Chris Austin. Now, he is the Institute Director of NCATS, the agency that funds us. Why are they singing? Well, I guess they were kicking off a charitable campaign, the combined federal campaign. And here the head of the NIH plays the guitar and can sing. And why is Chris Austin there? Some of you may not know that Chris Austin, the Institute Director for our institute, actually he sang opera for many years. He's got a highly trained voice. And so if you want to pick someone to sing the national anthem with you, who better? And this is Nora Volkow. Nora Volkow is known to a few of you in this room who live and die by NIDA. She's the Institute Director for NIDA. She has an interesting story as well. So why are these people up there? Because NCATS and our CCTS are very actively involved in supporting SUD research. We have always supported a broad spectrum of research, and NCATS and NIDA are actually doing more and more stuff collaborating together. So Nora Volkow is, of course, saying we can't tackle this problem, substance use disorder, without help from NCATS. And Chris Austin is, of course, saying NIDA is calling us every week. NIDA is the first institute who really wants to work with us. We can't blow this. That's pretty good. So anyway, so more and more is happening in this. And of course, the HEAL grant, which of course you've all heard about, is big news here, is one example of where this is happening, and there's more things coming down the pike. So we've supported over the years pilot grants, KL2 scholars, TL1 scholars, special projects, collaborations with other institutions. Our inpatient studies, as I mentioned, use 5 North, and we've had numerous other faculty involved in substance abuse research that we've supported in one way or another. So, and we hope to be continuing this in the future with our new funding. So, that's all I'm going to say. I'm now going to introduce Ashley Hall, who's going to talk about community engagement.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm not going to use a microphone because I think you can hear me, so my voice projects. So I am here to talk with you all today about the various ways that CCTS can support recruitment for your studies in clinical research. So I'll start off by introducing our core leaders in the community and engagement and research team. Dr. Gia Mudd-Martin here is in the College of Nursing here at UK. Dr. Fran Feltner, she is our co-director, and she is housed in the Center for Excellence in Rural Health in Hazard, Kentucky, one of our rural research hubs. This is Dr. Katie Cardarelli. She is the director of our Community Leadership Institute of Kentucky, which is a training program that Dr. Kern referenced earlier for community members. And there's me, project manager, so that's everyone. I do want to start off by saying that the overall mission and goal of the Community Engagement Core at CCTS is to connect community members, clinical partners, academic partners, in an effort to address the health needs and the priorities in Appalachia. So how do we help with recruitment? Well, one of the ways is that we spend a lot of time building partnerships and forming relationships with others who are interested in addressing health outcomes in Appalachia. So we provide some study coordination support, and I want to point out our two rural research hubs here. So the first is Clair Healthcare. This is in Moorhead, and we have a coordinator there, Ashley Gibson, and she's actually here today. So Ashley, can you give the crowd a wave, just so we recognize a familiar face? She does a lot of coordination, recruitment, data management, wow, you name it, and Ashley can help you with that. She is wonderful recruiting for focus groups and really getting down to that good relationship with people in the community as she is a part of it. And so the next rural research hub that we have is here in Hazard, Kentucky. So this is Center of Excellence in Rural Health. And we have a similar coordinator there who is doing the same sort of recruitment and coordination activities. I would be amiss not to mention our larger network of partners here, which is the Appalachian Translational Research Network. And their overall vision for this group of universities here is really focused on health equity across the region. And we recognize that we are a small piece of this Appalachian region, but with the help of our other partners, we can really dive into driving some results and improving health outcomes. So I have the pleasure of doing project management for two cores at CCTS, first being community engagement and also participant recruitment services. And I am in no way the only person who can do this. This is a heavy lift. This takes involvement from everyone. This takes a lot of teamwork. So I want to recognize my team, Roxanne Potkin. She's our recruitment and marketing manager. She has a lot of experience. She has built so many connections over the years with researchers, community members, community-based organizations. And she's here as well. Roxanne, can you give the crowd a wave? Although I know you all are familiar. Our marketing support specialist is Brian Sanders, and he is actually in the back filming right now the CCTS Town Hall, and he does film our other clinical research update series, participant recruitment series, any way that we could push out some digital media for CCTS. This is our guy. So how do we support recruitment? Well, the first way is that we provide recruitment consultations. And so I want to point out here that with the development of a recruitment plan, this is not limited to someone who is a seasoned investigator. We really want to emphasize that we support you at any level of the spectrum where you are. Whether you're a student, whether you're a new investigator, a staff person, if you want to reach a certain population, we want to help you. Another way that we provide recruitment services is we will actually give you the language that is IRB approved to go within your research description. We do have a close working relationship with ORI. They are fantastic. They're always responsive and help us know what needs to be in your IRB application. We also developed recruitment materials, which I'm going to show you a few of them in the next couple of slides, and we promote your studies pretty much in any way that we can. So that includes some paper-based recruitment materials, flyers, and also some digital media avenues as well. And finally, we are able to establish connections with our CCTS Biomedical Informatics core. And this core can assist you with recruitment by targeting medical records. They can sort of sort out the population that you need, but in a different way than we can. Raise your hand if you see one of these flyers anywhere. Campus? Okay, awesome. All right, so these are our promotional flyers for studies that are going on. We have them in 7 locations. I'm happy to say that we've added 2 within the last couple of years. So this guy right here, this wall mount that you'll see, this is in UK Hospital in Pav H. And here we recently got into Shriners, so you'll find us here in the lobby. The other locations are Good Samaritan Hospital in the lobby, UK College of Nursing across from the cafe on the 3rd floor. We're actually out at Turfland now. We're able to get in some flyers on the back of exam room doors because if people are waiting to see a physician, why not? Let's tell them about what's going on so perhaps they participate. We also have one in the Kentucky Clinic near the pharmacy and one at University Health Services. So digital advertisement, ukclinicalresearch.com. This is your one-stop shop to know what is going on, what are the current studies that are taking place at UK. And the one advantage of this website is that interested participants can actually submit a form to say, hey, I'm interested in this research. So here are our featured studies. We always like to display new ones that are coming along. And also others for the purposes, if you need a boost for recruitment, we'd like to feature you on our front page. So you'll see that you can browse your research opportunities by topic. We have a nice list here. Also want to point out that we are on social media platforms. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and most recently Instagram. So within the last 2 weeks. And what else? So in addition to this type of advertisement, we are working with UK Healthcare to get some digital monitor ads in circulation on the screens throughout. And we also have connections to radio and TV ads, local radio stations in Appalachia. And finally, we have community outreach events. So that is, I would say, the sweetest slice of the pie. That's when we're able to get out and just go to the community fairs, Latino Health Fair, Roots and Heritage, EKU, Mind Matters, Sanders Brown Aging event. So we really want to go out to any event where we can just have a conversation with someone and tell them more about the advantages of participating. So finally, one of the last ways that we help, but certainly not the very last, I would say there's many, is that we use registries. And so Research Match is a national registry, and this was developed by our partners at Vanderbilt. And it's basically like a dating service, if you will. It partners together and matches people who are looking for particular clinical trials to participate in, and also researchers who are looking for them to complete their study. So it works when you sign into the registry. It will email you and let you know, hey, you might be eligible for this study based upon the information that you entered. In a similar fashion, it will alert investigators, hey, these people have indicated that they might be interested in your study. So something recent development on our site is Trials Today. This was born out of Research Match, and it's designed as a quick way to search the clinical trials that are listed on clinicaltrials.gov. And in particular, what's great about this one, and it is on our website, is that it will show you all of the clinical trials that are happening at UK. So you can search it on our website, ukclinicalresearch.com, or you can also search here. And finally, I will tell you about our local registry here, which is Wellness, Health, and You. And this is a local health registry that conducts an annual survey of self-reported symptoms, health behaviors, prevention practices, and access to care in an effort to meet the health needs of people in our local communities. And so my colleague, Dr. Ann Coker, will share with you how Y is far more than a health registry. And again, I'll do a short plug to if you are interested in community engagement and/or participant recruitment services, please go to our website, complete our service request form, also being a member, and check those on the box. We're happy to help you. So without further ado, please welcome my colleague, Dr. Angel.
Thank you. Hello. I'm going to use the microphone because I tend to speak more quietly, but I'm really happy to be here. And I want to introduce somebody who I'm much more happy to have than you will know, and that is Katie Schill. Can you wave and let us know? Katie she is our new project coordinator, and it is amazing to have the energy of Katie with us as a full-time for Y recruitment. All right, so what is Y? So basically, and if you don't remember anything else that I'm about to say, it is an opportunity and you can participate. This is our logo. I'm particularly proud of it because it took a long time coming. Y is a registry, but it is much more than a registry from the perspective of it's a way for researchers to have data or to expand data, the data that you may have. And it's an opportunity for us to participate in research. So both of those are possibilities. Everybody here could participate in Y. Why is that? Well, we've gone beyond including women, and we are now including men. This is a big deal for us. I'm a women's health researcher, so it is a big deal for me personally. So why women? Why men? So if you are a male and would like to participate in Y, we would love to have you. Okay, so it's an opportunity for us to participate in health research, all of us. It's a resource for researchers, meaning that if you are interested in using our data, if you want to recruit individuals who may have a particular disease, and you're interested in a population that has already participated in research, they're interested in research, this is a place to come. It is a longitudinal cohort. It's a very wide age range from 18 to 89 years of age. Our participants, we are actually trying to grow younger, as you will see, and that is a hard thing to do, but that is one of the things that we're trying to do. Whereas what was mentioned just a bit ago, there are brief surveys. These are actually in the forms of modules. So for example, and you'll see just a second, we have a new module, a sexual health module. In the near future, there may be a sexual harassment module because that is an issue that's come up in the news fairly recently. These are individuals who are participating in research, who are coming up with these modules. These modules are very quick. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I will keep going. All right, so this is an example. It's a flower power example. So what we're after is really looking at not what's wrong with you. In other words, not what health conditions you may have, although we collect that information, but what's happened to you. So we're going much more deeply into a person's life experience. I'm a researcher as well, and my area is violence and violence prevention. So that's an area that we're really interested in terms of looking at the ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, as well as adult adverse experiences. That's a big part of what we do. I mentioned the modules. These are the examples of some of the modules that we have developed, and these are first researchers that are developing many of the models. So this takes into account the physical health as well as the psychological and emotional health. All right, so this is, as was mentioned, what we want to do is to grow in our diversity. I've already mentioned men. Men are now welcome to join. But we're interested in Dr. Kern mentioned this, increasing our diversity in terms of age, as I mentioned, adding men, Y men. We also have a Y queer health. Dr. Amanda Fallon is in charge of that. And as well as we have a Y people of color. So we're really trying to increase our diversity so everyone can join. This is an inclusive group. All right, this is the one that I'm really excited about as well. It's not just a cohort study. It's an opportunity to actually launch different projects and interventions and test them. So this is why this model describes the power of Y as a translational tool. And this is something we're not there yet, but that is where we're headed. And that's why joining Y and expanding Y is really, really important for us. We're in the process of beautifying and including our website as part of the CCTS. So you will see that in the very near future, and you too can become a member of Y. I think that's all I got. But here's our picture. Here's Katie as our new member. We have the entire outreach group as well, and I think some of the outreach members are Dr. Heather Bush is not here, but Kelsey Rutherford is here, and Letitia Owsley, I'm not sure that I saw her. But that's our team, and thank you for attention, and I'm passing it off to Bioinformatics.
Good afternoon. I'll try to be brief so we have plenty of time for questions left here. My name is James Aaron. I am the project manager for the Biomedical Informatics core of the CCTS. I want to talk briefly about some tools that are available to researchers, staff, students, anyone here at UK for a very common question that I get emailed and phone calls quite a bit about, which is how many patients do we have for XYZ? You know, here at UK, how many people are we treating with this condition? Or how many adults, how many kids, and so forth. And there are tools you can get access to that you can access at any time on your own, running whatever criteria you're interested in. So I just want to talk briefly about them. The first is called Trinetics. This is an agreement that we have with, it's funded in large part by the pharmaceutical industry. So that's why they have a really updated looking website, because they got the money for it. You can use certain terms. You can see here, there's demographics, diagnosis, procedures. One thing I want to point out here, you do not have to have the codes. It is text-based. So if you don't know the CPT or the ICD-9 or 10 for whatever you're searching, you can just type in the procedure. It'll still find it. You can specify age ranges, so 18 and over. One thing I want to point out is you can search different networks. So again, to the CTSA's goal of multi-site studies, collaboration with others, you can search just at UK. We also have some agreements in place for people like specifically UK and USC, UK and UAB. And then the Southeast Shrine is a collaborative that's coming together that includes UAB, NUSC, UAMS, I assume everybody knows exactly, that's my bad. Arkansas, Alabama, and South Carolina. But you can query, again, all the population. What this gives you are counts. So you can say, I want patients who are 18 or older. You can put a time limit on it, like I don't want to see everybody since we first started tracking data. I only want to see the patients in the last 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, what have you. When you get a count, it'll then do some basic criteria for you. So it may tell you, if you have several different criteria, it'll let you know from your cohort how many people meet each one. Same premise is another tool called I2B2. I2B2 is specific to UK. It only has University of Kentucky data in it. And one of the reasons I point that out is because, as you can see on the side, these are built for UK data. So we have things in here that another tool I'm going to show you in a minute does not, because we have a little bit more control over what data gets put in here. So we do have access to, for example, the tumor registry. You can search I2B2. Same premise here as well, it's a different format. Some people like this, others prefer Trinetics, same data. Again, you don't have to have the codes, you can just use text to search for conditions and procedures. What you will get, again, is an aggregate count. Just to give you an idea, I'm interested in this, here's how many people we have in the UK. Plus or minus for you. Do you want to proceed, get additional data? Is it too small for you to move on, so at this time you want to look for something else? Again, you can get a cohort breakdown, different pieces of data. Kind of the how many are men, how many are women, what's the age range breakouts, and so forth. Shrine, same thing as I2B2, except with other institutions. So we're working, it's still being developed to include everyone, but The CTSAs across the nation are all coming together to put this data set in one spot so that you can search all of it at one time. The only thing I want to point out here is that on this side, there's a little bit of difference in the criteria that you can use. Simple part being, we can't just whatever UK wants, we have to get 30 to 60 other universities to all agree and put those data points in. When you run a query in here, you'll get a list of facilities and the patients that have counts. That means we've already heard back. The blank ones, it's still querying. But again, you'll get breakdowns for the population. You can look at it to determine if there's enough people there for what you're interested in. We have contacts at the other universities. If you decide to move forward, we're happy to connect you. Here's most of our team: Dr. Talbert, Dr. Mosley, Tammy Harper, myself, Brent Cedars, who handles our RedCap, and Alexandria Corbeau, who's our database analyst. If you have any questions, I'm happy to meet with you just to go over these again, and we offer training on the application as well. So you can request access through our service request form, and then when we send you your username and password, you can also set up some kind of online training or in person if that's better for you. Right?
So I know Dr. Kern pointed out that we have a workforce development group and that we do a lot of training. We have a lot of programs that fund people, and we have a lot of other training programs. But one of the other things that we invest a lot in is our seminar series. So we have 4 of these series going on right now. We have a Biomedical Informatics series. I think some of you joined us last week when we had a presentation about RedCap. We have the Clinical Research Update series that goes on every month, where we come back and we talk about just lots of different projects going on at UK, barriers and facilitators to getting research done. We have our Bird Pizza and Pilots, where they come in, they talk about things that, questions that come up, different ways of analyzing data. And then they're there to also spend some time to help you. The last 20 minutes, if you have questions about your design, they will meet with you, talk to you, and then if they think you need some additional time, they'll ask you to fill out a service request form and meet with you. And then we have also, I feel like, our participant recruitment. So where they do different seminars looking at really unique ways and interesting projects that are going on where people are recruiting, where investigators are recruiting people to study. So we do these once a month. We hope during the academic calendar, and we look forward to seeing all of you at these. These are all listed on our website. I'm going the wrong direction here. Right here, when you log into our website, you will see them in the right-hand corner, the calendar of upcoming events. So we want to thank all of you for coming today, and if you have any questions, we're here to answer them.